You're listening to Entrepreneur's Enigma, a podcast about the ups and downs of the entrepreneurial journey. Every week, your host Seth Goldstein interviews entrepreneurs from all walks of life about their entrepreneurial journeys. From store owners to Fortune 500 CEOs, we all have stories to tell. So sit back and join us for the next 20 or so minutes while we explore the entrepreneurial world.
Welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneur's Enigma podcast. I am, as always, your host, Seth from Podcast Mastery and Goldstein Media. We are past the 300 mark. Woo! 300 episodes. Holy crap. We are past it. I think this is going to be episode, it's going to be episode, drumroll please, 305. So now I can't change it. You're going to be 305. Now I said it on the podcast. You're going to be 305. Today I have Jonnie Allan, a good buddy of mine from the Awww network, and he is an illustrator with over 3 decades of experience, specializing in fun, fantastic, and family-friendly artwork that evokes strong emotions from laughter and amazing to heartfelt awe moments of pure cuteness. He does great little characters and logos and websites, all this good stuff. His work captures a wide range of feelings and brings joy and wonder to audiences of all ages. He's been found in comic books, children's books, t-shirts, websites, brochures, so on and so forth. Everywhere you need a cute graphic, you can find Jonnie. Jonnie is a proud Navy veteran, a loving husband, dedicated father to a spirited child who I don't think is a child anymore, but who loves Legos. Does he still love Legos, Jonnie?
Still loves Lego, but
he never stopped loving Legos.
He'll always be a child. You're
in your mind, exactly.
He'll always be a child, but yeah, I should probably change that. He's 19. I don't know if that qualifies.
Yeah, he's emancipated. He can go do his own thing. Exactly. So how's it going, buddy?
It's going good. How you doing?
Not too bad. 3 decades doing this. Wow.
3 decades, yeah.
Hard to believe, right? It flies by.
What's that?
It flies by, doesn't it?
It does. That's one of the things I get an occasional note from some buddies I was in the military with, and to stop and think that was over 30 years ago. That was crazy.
Well, first of all, thank you for your service, because not all of us can stomach going to the military and going through boot camp and all that stuff.
It wasn't that bad.
Well,
so it was the
Navy.
The Navy had the easiest boot camp, unfortunately. So I was
really
hard stuff, but the Navy was pretty. I just had the feeling that if I'd gone in, one of the other branches, I'd have been stuck out in the desert somewhere, and I kind of wanted to see the world. So the Navy was the logical choice on that one.
Well, and did you see the world?
I did. Saw most of the Far East. I didn't get over to Europe at all, but Hong Kong, Thailand, Singapore, Philippines.
Wow.
At Mombasa, Kenya, Rio de Janeiro. We hit a lot of different places. So
that's awesome. So how did you get into? Have you always been a drawer, even before, as a kid? Were you a drawer? Like, how did you fall into? How does one fall into becoming an illustrator? Like, how does that happen?
Well, I think everybody, as they're growing up and they got their box of crayons and stuff, would love to just spend their day drawing.
Yeah.
But it's just one of the in the 80s, back when comic books used to be on the spinner rack and they weren't so easily accessible and you had to get them from the drugstore and stuff. I fell in love with comic books, and that was something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to be a professional comic book illustrator. And so that was the thing I was striving for, to kind of push towards learning how to do that and to break into that industry however I could, which wasn't, I was from Southern California, so we had San Diego Comic-Con. It's
the big one, yeah.
The event it is now, but it was a good place to go down and get mentorship and to find out more information about how to get in there and stuff like that. And so
it's a tough industry. It's a tough industry.
It's a very tough industry. And everybody has their own, one of the questions is, how do you break into the industry? Everybody has their own path. There's no one set way to get in there. Everybody just kind of, a lot of it is luck. It's fate. It's, there's, it's hard work. It's, it's not what you know, but who you know, kind of thing. And tenacity. You have to be tenacious and keep on putting your stuff out there and do the work. And to have those really bad paydays, working other jobs where you're breaking into it until you get those page rates up and stuff like that. But yeah, so I always wanted to do that. Then I went in the military at 17, and while I was in the military, they found out that I could draw and I could illustrate and stuff, and so they had me design. They didn't have to pay me anything extra, so they had me
No.
design flags and cruise books and T-shirts and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, so
I
they
designed
kind of
the
encouraged it, which is good.
Yeah, and so it was the first experience of actually doing professional work in the military. And
Yeah.
then when I got out of the military, I went to junior college. Turns out had one of the finest art departments in the country, and then went on to the Art Center College of Design and learned about illustration stuff. That whole time, I was working on cartoon mascots and logos and things. Still
Wow.
working to break into the comic book industry, and it took some
Yeah.
time. And then I was finally started landing independent jobs, and then breaking in, and then getting some high paying gigs, and spending a good 10 years drawing comic books. And
There you go.
that was fun. It was very fulfilling, and then got out of that I left that industry in 2009,
Okay.
and actually had the opportunity to create my own character and bring my own title out while I was in the industry too.
Oh,
And
wow.
we had some statues and toys and things made of it. It was one of the top independent comics for 3 years in a row. It was a fun journey. It was a lot of
Not too
fun.
shabby. Not too shabby.
Yeah, and then
What was your character's name?
Stickman, the miscellaneous
Stigma.
adventures of Stickman, Stykman, and
Oh,
he
very cool.
was um, a bumbling buffoon of a branch. So kind of the next arrogant, not so bright super ego kind of thing,
Love it, man. Love it.
because you
And
need
so
one more. So
did you do the story plus the illustration or just the
I did.
illustration?
I was one of the few people in the industry that actually was crazy enough to do all the work. Because usually there's 5 to 7
Yeah.
people involved on a book. So you have the writer, you have the penciler, the inker, the colorist, the letterer, the editor. You have all these different. Then somebody puts it together for pre-press and stuff like that. So I
That's a
did all that
lot.
stuff and handled every aspect of it. And kind of a control freak. I wanted to control every part of that character. I figured it would rise or fall based on my own
I
creativity and not be able to
I
blame
love
it.
that, man. I love that. So then you left that. You left the comic book industry in 2009. Probably a smart time because people weren't buying comic books as much because the economy was kind of wackadoo, which it always is. But
Well, yeah, I also saw a shift in basically what's happening with movies right now, where they're more
Mhm.
interested in preaching a message than they are telling a really good story, and they're
Oh,
forgetting
right.
about their audience base. And I'm not trying to get political, but it's just like when you forget who your audience is,
It's
the
bad.
sales are
Yeah.
going to plummet and they're going to fall. And that's what's happening with Hollywood and the movie industry right now. Is they've forgotten their audience and they're trying
Yeah.
to make people like something, and that's not how creativity works. You
It
can't make
isn't.
somebody like something. And so that's what was happening in the industry. And it was just kind of like, okay, well, we'll get out, we'll start focusing on other things and bringing
Yeah.
the same kind of creativity back to the businesses and brands like I was doing prior to
Yeah.
getting into the industry. So
So you're doing mascots and you're doing websites and you're doing logos and illustrations and I'm sure holiday cards here and there.
if the car don't holidays, well, we're actually coming up. I actually paint Christmas windows too, so I'm going to be painting Christmas
Oh,
windows
wow, really? You
starting
can be well, at
probably.
least it's not that hot where you are now. It's not as hot.
Oh, it's not as hot. No, it's starting to cool off. So, but it doesn't get that cold here, so it's easy to. I can't imagine being out there painting windows in the snow. That would not be
Oh
fun.
God, can you imagine?
But I know people do it.
Oh
There's
yeah, but people are crazy. People are crazy. They'll do
Yeah,
it.
there's a buddy of mine. That's what he does. That's how he makes his living, is painting windows, doing the sign graphics and stuff like that. And he's out there in the snow every year, putting his videos out, showing people. I'm like, dude, you're crazy.
You're
It's
crazy. You're
again, I'm from
crazy.
Southern California. If it got 1 degree above 75, we complained. If it got 1 degree below 75, we complained.
You put
So
jackets on at that point. Yeah. So
so
Johnny, what is the best thing? Because you've done the military, which is about as corporate as you can get. I mean, if you think about it, and then you've done the comic book industry, which is about as corporate political as you can get, because you've got to play the game to get your comic book character out there. Who do you need to know? All that stuff. What's the best thing about being an entrepreneur in your mind?
oh, the best thing is just having the freedom to decide what you're going to be working on. So as
Yeah,
opposed to you work for, and not to knock the illustrators and designers that work for
yeah,
other agencies and studios, because I have freelancers that I hire out and stuff like
yeah.
that, but you get to control which projects you're going to work on. You get to control what clients you're going to be working with, and
Mm-hmm.
it's the highs, but also the lows.
Oh,
I mean, the fact that you control your working hours, but really as an entrepreneur, as I'm sure you know, that all Friday means is there's 2 more work days till Monday, you know?
Oh, I love that. It's so true. It's so
Yeah.
true.
And it's just, you don't have the reliance of the steady paycheck that's coming in all the time. But
No, the
as
ups
we're
and
seeing how
downs.
volatile the job market is right now, is that paycheck really as steady as you believe it to be? So
Very true. Very true. So what
relax.
keeps you up? What keeps you up at night besides your kid and whatnot? Like, what keeps you up at night in the business world?
Uh, well, right now it's just, and we had talked about this off the
Yeah.
call here, just about the uncertainty in the market right now. It's things are
Yeah.
going crazy. There was a recent article that was put out there regarding the illustration world
Oh,
and
really?
how illustration is kind of it's on pause right now for whatever reason. That usually happens
Yeah.
when the market tends to tighten up when people are uncertain. It's kind of like
Yeah.
all those businesses, they the first thing they do is cut the advertising budget
Which is
until
the most bizarre thing to me because
it is because
that's
then
what
they
brings the
start
money in.
de-advertising when they wanna do their liquidation sale, it's like, you know, it's
Oh,
it's like you wanna
it's
advertise before you get to the liquidation sale, but,
yeah.
so they cut the marketing and all of the extra expenses, and so when they look at the budgets and they see things like illustration that normally they would have no problem paying for
Yeah.
it, do we really need to shell this out? Can we get away with just clip art, or can we turn to AI right now, which is a
Yeah.
mistake because AI,
It's
the
not
problem with
personal.
AI is that you can't copyright anything that's generated by AI at this time. So
Yeah.
if you create something, so say you turn to that to create this cute little cartoon mascot for your business or brand, your competition can take that from you and that you have no recourse because
Yeah,
AI.
because it's AI and they can't trademark it after they can't copyright or trademark it either. It's free form and out in the wild, you just create a creature that has no home essentially.
Exactly, and then you also have to factor in what kind of heart or soul can a machine bring to any form
Yeah,
of creativity, to any writing, to any artwork, to any videos, anything
absolutely,
like that. There's no point of view, there's no perspective, there's no collaboration whatsoever, and so that's a
absolutely.
drawback, but it's just one of those things. I think we're seeing it in business all across the board right now, is people are just kind of
Hmm.
uncertain what's happening. So as far as what keeps me up, it's just kinda like, honestly, it's thinking about what new channels can I implement to get the word out to
Mm.
keep us in front of everybody, because we're constantly trying new channels and keeping our name out in front of different people. I don't just sit back and wait for the business to come to me. That's a huge
You
mistake.
can't, you can't.
Or
Yeah.
when you do your marketing and then you got all the business you can handle and you stop marketing, and that's a
Oh,
huge
don't do
mistake
that.
too.
Don't do that. Yeah. We're gonna take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show.
You can't do that because it'll take 3 months for that marketing to start picking back up again. And so, all of a sudden, all those jobs that you had lined up, they dry up. You're not getting the word of mouth, and now you're scrambling, and you've got nothing
Hmm.
in the pipeline, and now
Yeah.
you gotta start your marketing again. It's gonna be 3 months before you see anything on that. So you
If that,
gotta do
if not more. Yeah.
so yeah, that's and I think that's part of it too. It's kind of exciting wearing all those different hats. Some people
Yeah.
don't like it, but what I mean, you're the ad guy, you're the marketing guy, you're the you got to do the books, you got to do the nice thing is
Yeah.
you have the ability to work with a lot of different people that are say like in the temp space and stuff that
Yeah.
are a virtual assistant or somebody that you can work with. You can bring in to
Hmm.
handle all that stuff that maybe you don't want to do.
I love that. So, what is the most important thing to carry with you all the time? This to me is woo woo as you want to get.
Explain that question. Go a little deeper on that question for me. What do you
So,
mean by
like, what do you carry with you all the time besides a pencil?
okay?
Because that's too easy for you. But like, what do you what do you carry with you? Is it a sense of adventure? Is it a sense of creativity? I'm giving you all the answers here, but yeah.
um, oh goodness, that's a great question, man. You stumped me on that one. So it's I mean, what I carry with me all the time. I mean, you say get as woo woo. I mean, obviously, my faith is important to me.
Yes.
I am a Christian. I don't advertise being a Christian business owner because that always it troubles me sometimes when people announce that they're, Christian right out from the bat and stuff like that. It's like, why did you want me to know that?
Yeah,
What?
I've always wondered about that. It's the same thing. The same thing goes for being a Jew, like Jewish business owner.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Jewish business owners, you can just look at the last name half the time.
Yeah.
It's kind of true.
Yeah,
Goldstein. It's
so
like,
I carry
yeah,
my faith in Christ. I carry my family with me at all times. I mean, that's the
yeah.
whole thing. Even the marketing is like, how can I make sure that I'm constantly providing for my family by doing this and then growing the business, but
Mm-hmm.
also seeing the world through a creative lens and always looking at, I look at everybody else's stuff. It's like, how would I do that better? How could I introduce
Mm-hmm.
some fun and color and playfulness to their brand that
Yeah,
they can? And sometimes I'll just even fire off an email and say, hey, have you thought about this? Whether they get back to me or not, at least I've got them thinking about things in their
yeah.
business in a different
Giver's
way.
gain. It's all about the giver's gain. It's always helping other people out because if you help people out, it's going to come back to you twofold. I always feel that way.
I agree with that 100%. Usually, it's when it comes to websites, I'm always providing tips. I'm like, hey, hand this off to your website guy because if you fix this, this will make a big difference on.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it has to do with just the copy. If you're focused more on yourself than you are the customer, your website's not going to convert. So you've got
No, it's
to
not.
focus on the
Exactly.
customer. What do you do to help them? Imagine yourself as being they're the hero in the journey. I mean, this goes to like story brand, right? So they're the
Exactly.
hero, you're the guide. You need to help them get from point A to point B. You got to help
Absolutely.
Frodo get the ring to Mordor, right? You got to be the guide to help him get there. So,
Absolutely. I love it, man. I love it, man. So
though
people
you
can
don't
find
necessarily,
you. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say you don't want to be Gollum. You want to be more like the
Yeah,
Gandalf role, if you will.
yeah, not to be too geeky about it or anything.
I'm
Exactly.
I'm surrounded by toys, man. I can't help it. I got to get.
You can't help it. You're a kid at heart. Exactly. So people can find you at pixelsandpastels.com.
That's
And
it.
and you can check out his cute little what is it, Apple IIe esque mascot. Your
It's
little mascot.
it's a Mac, so it's based on the Macintosh. So
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
the,
With a little
the first
antenna.
the first computer I owned in the '80s was a Commodore 64, and you can't
We
really
all
use
did,
that
yeah.
since that was just basically a contained unit with a keyboard. So
It
I
was.
thought the Mac was a good start with that, and then create around that and create a mascot that's close to the
Yeah.
Mac. Because I've
He's
always worked
cute.
on the Mac, so it's one
There
of
you
those,
go.
except for the Commodore 64. But
We'll let that one slide because that's the classic.
yeah, the Mac wasn't around. Well, actually, it was in the '80s. It was around, but
The Lisa.
yeah, that was
You don't get
a little
started
out
on
of
that.
budget there.
Exactly, exactly. So Johnny, thank you for coming on. This has been so much fun. I love how these interviews fly by. And so people check out Johnny. His artwork is amazing, and hire this guy because he does great work. And we'll see
Very cool.
everyone next week.
That was a great show. If you're enjoying Entrepreneur's Enigma, please consider giving us a review in the podcast directory of your choice. Every review helps us reach new listeners. If you like Entrepreneur's Enigma, consider the other shows on the Marketing Podcast Network at marketingpodcast.net.